Hi. It's Min here. I'm just going to wait and see if anybody jumps in. I'll drink my wine. Just give it a minute or two. I actually am doing a live without makeup on tonight. That's not usually a thing that I do. Oh, someone's jumped in. Hi, I don't know who you are, so say hi so I know who you are. I was just saying that I'm sitting here and doing a live without any makeup on tonight, and that's not usually something that I would do. But I have had a crazy busy day, and it ended with somebody. Oh, Angelica's there. Hi, Angelica. Lots of love. Thank you. It ended today with me showing my old car to someone who I was hoping was going to buy it from me. And that process is just icky, isn't it? I hate that stuff. And so, you know, they did the whole, oh, there's this wrong with it, there's that wrong with it, all of the, you know, the little dance around that you do. Susan's in. Hi, Susan. And so at the end of it, I just had such a crazy day, and it finished with that, and I was like, I just need to have a really long shower. So that's what I did, and it's meant that I didn't think you'd mind if I didn't put any makeup on for my live, because it's all about authenticity, isn't it? So I figured that we're all friends, and I did resist putting my pajamas on. I did think about wearing my pajamas. And I talked about that one day, actually, didn't I? I was going to do a pajama date night and everyone could be in their pajamas. So anyway, we've got a few people on. So I will make a start because I'm a little bit excited to talk to you about this tonight, this topic, because it's come about that I've decided to talk about this following a series of events this week that have led me to think that I need to talk to you about playing small and why it's not a good idea and how to change that for yourself. So, wine. Has everyone else got wine? Susan, are you drinking wine? Susan says, hi, Min, I love my PJs. I actually need to go shopping for new PJs. Mine are not suitable for public consumption, I don't think. Excuse me. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about a belief that I used to have, because I think that a lot of other people have it too, and that is that Angelica's got a cup of tea and Susan's got wine. I had a feeling you might have wine, Susan. Yeah, had a feeling. So I used to believe that anybody that would pay me to work with me was enough for me. That I had to say yes to working with everybody that wanted to work with me. But I think what happens when you do that is that you end up working with people that aren't necessarily aligned with you, that aren't necessarily a good fit for you. And what happens is that they end up taking your energy away. They end up just, the mix isn't good. And I know that I've had clients in the past that I should have just said no to, that, you know, I didn't think that we were a good fit. And I have had clients that a little bit down the track, I've realised that they weren't a good fit for me, and I wasn't a good fit for them, because the work wasn't producing the results, you know. They were saying all the right things. Yes, Min, I hear what you're saying. I think that's a great idea. I'll go ahead and do that. And then the work wasn't happening and the result wasn't coming. And I think that we allow this to happen in our businesses because it's like an old school mentality, you know. It comes from a place of scarcity, comes from a place of lack, and it comes from that old school thought that you have a job for life and you do the job and it's, you know, whatever it is, you do it and that's the end of the story. But it isn't like that anymore, because the world has expanded as a result of the internet, And these kinds of businesses can go out and serve the 7 billion people that are in the world. So there's more opportunity. There's more people that you can reach. There's more people that you can serve. And so then you get a bit choosy. You get to work with the ones that you work best with. You get to work with the ones that allow you to come from a space where you value your own time and you value your own gifts, and you put a higher price on that as a result. Oh, Karen's there. Hi, Karen. Haven't seen you for ages. So I think I'm looking over behind the phone, behind the camera, because I've made loads of notes tonight because I didn't want to forget anything. So I am going to be doing a little bit of reading, so excuse me. When you hold yourself back like this, when you take less than, when you accept less than for yourself, you actually end up doing the world a disservice, because you aren't fully able to be the amazing creature of service that you could be otherwise. And I'll tell you how this happens. Hi, Romana. I didn't think you were going to make it tonight. You're staying up late for me. I love it. Thank you. So this is what happens. For me, this is what's happened in the past. When I've had a client that isn't fully aligned and who isn't doing the work and who isn't getting the results because we're not a good fit for each other and we probably shouldn't have worked together in the first place, I get frustrated. I feel like I'm wasting my time, and I start to contract and I start to come from this space of negativity. So what happens then is the next client that I see, I face up to them from this place of negativity. I face up to them from a place of contraction, and it doesn't work for them either, and I'm not able to give them everything that they need. I'm not able to give them everything of myself because I've been previously working with this other client, you see. So that's my experience. And today's Facebook news feed made me kind of think, I don't even know why this triggered this for me, but, well, I kind of do, you might get it. So I sat down after I'd done all my running around and like being in front of people and doing the human thing out in the real world, and came back to my cave. Excuse me, wine. It's Friday night. And sat down to Facebook, which is where I prefer to live, and my news feed had 3 images, 3 stories or posts, one after another, and all 3 images, it was incredible. It was like a poker machine or something, and they were all almost the same, posted by completely different businesses or completely different people, completely unrelated to each other. And the 3 images were of a silhouetted person, like with their arms up, kind of, you know, in this sort of power pose or pose of expansion, pose of receiving, or whatever it was. And I thought, oh, you know what, that's what it should be, that's what it should feel like, you know, going back to these thoughts about playing small. And the other thing that happened today was that I did a really big walk, and on it I was listening to a podcast. Which podcast? Soul Doctor, I think it might have been. And the podcast was all about the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and balancing these in yourself and in your relationships and in your work. And what happens when these are not balanced, when you embrace more of the feminine or when you embrace more of the masculine, and how that's true also for the men in our lives and what that can do with the dynamic in relationships. So I'm going to look up that podcast after this, because I'm not sure if that's the name of it, but I'll post it in the comments so that you can check it out, because it's a really good one. It's just a new one that I've gotten onto, but I do so love it. So it was talking about that and kind of how to move your energy between the two, how to balance that out. So if you find in your relationships that you are kind of being too feminine, being too soft, being too submissive, all of those things, how do you step it up a notch and sort of embrace more of the divine masculine and balance that out, but without doing it to the detriment of your relationships with men? You know, like it's a juggle, you know, was what it was saying. Anyway, but that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about was the fact that listening to this podcast about balancing the divine feminine and masculine led me to think about, in connection to playing small and how we accept less for ourselves, and thinking about that along the lines of, well, the men that I know in business don't do that. They don't accept less for themselves. They only accept the very best, and they only go in from this high level, and this is the business that I want, this is what I want it to look like. And so, goddamn, that's what it's going to be. And they make that decision, and so that's how it is. But as women, we tend not to do that. We tend to be kind of conditioned from an early age, I think, for the smallness, for the contraction. When you think about it, it's all the little things, all the little messages that we get as little girls, you know, don't sit with your legs open, sit with them closed. Oh, and look how I'm sitting, sorry. You know, do that, and yet men are all, you know, they sit as big as they can because they are kind of that alpha personality, you know, that's where they generally come from. So little girls are taught not to get fat, not to get big, stay small. We're taught not to be loud, not to be boisterous, be ladylike, you know, be quiet, be this. We're also taught not to get emotional or loud or over the top. Don't be dramatic, don't be all of those things, stay small, you know. So what happens is that this kind of mindset gets entrenched very early on, and so that's what we tend to be, because it's kind of in line also with our softer feminine self, okay? And the thing is that this conditioning, this sort of mindset, can easily spill over into our businesses as well, but only if we let it and only if we're not aware of it. But I do believe that it's happened to everybody who has ever had a business. Every woman that's ever had a business could relate to this situation. So the thing is, if we're more in tune with our feminine, it easily translates. I'm just repeating myself because I read the wrong line on my notes. That is my first glass of wine too, by the way. So I wanted to talk to you too about a conversation that I've been having, or a series of conversations that I've been having with a client in the last few weeks. And we were talking about the people in her industry that she aspires to. So she looks up to these people, puts them on a bit of a pedestal, thinks to herself, one day I'd like my business to be just like that. I want to be just like them. And I think everyone can relate to that. I have people that I follow that I want to be just like one day. And I sat down and I talked to this client and I said, you know what? What would happen if you just made a decision to just be that person? What if you just decided to let go of all of that conditioning that is making you play small, and all of the fear and the mindset that says to yourself, you know, I need to be this contracted small player in the field? What if you let go of that and just decided that you are that person, that you are those people, and you did the things that they do in their business now instead of in a few years' time when your business has grown to that point? And it begins to translate then. When you make that decision, it translates into your business practices. and it translates into your processes, and it translates into your sales conversations and the interactions that you have with clients and people that are buying from you. And I can see in this client, after a few weeks, that her approach has actually slipped into being a little more masculine and a little more confident, and she's elevated herself to a new level as a result of that. So I really think that it's possible. I really think that if you just decide, then it happens. And if you consciously decide over and over again, it becomes a new norm. And before you know it, you're walking the walk and talking the talk of the person that you want to be, you know? And then you turn around one day and you actually already are that person. You know what I mean? Emily's in. Emily, I thought you'd be tucked up in bed with your cold by now. No? Still up? Okay, I'm just going to move this because I actually can't see my notes. Oh, I'm going to knock that over. Do you want to see? I'm not going to knock this over. This is a beautiful, what is it? I think I got that in Prague, and I've carried it around the world, and I just love it. So I don't want to knock it over, but I do. Oh, Emily's saying hi and good night. She just got home and she's going to bed. All right, good night, doll. So when you allow yourself to elevate to that new level, you find that you are more aligned. You're drawing in the right people. You're working in a different space. And so you draw in more of the goodness. You draw in more of the abundance. You draw in more of exactly the right clients or the right people that you want to work with. So I guess my message to you tonight is, where are you playing small? Where is it? It's going to be somewhere in your business. Is it in the offers that you're putting out? Are you only putting out low price products? Is it in your boundaries when you're dealing with people? Are you allowing people to message you at stupid o'clock? Are you allowing people to message you for advice when they haven't paid for it? Are you giving too much value? Are you over delivering, like to the point where it's ridiculous? Are you allowing clients to sit with you for 2 hours when they've only paid for 30 minutes? You know, that's kind of, I believe in over delivering. I think that's a good thing, and giving really great value. I don't believe in giving away your time in that extreme, and I see it, you know, people do it. Are you playing small with your prices? So I know that when you start out, you need to do some freebies as a rule to get a name for yourself. I know that you need to do some of that, you know, call it pro bono, whatever you like. You need to start out at a particular price point, but I also know that people tend not to increase their prices when they actually probably should do. So ask yourself if you're playing small with your prices. What about the people that you work with? Are you just saying yes to everybody that actually wants to work with you without question, without asking if you want to work with them, or without asking, if you're a good fit, if you're aligned, if you're going to be able to work well together? What about your business model? What does that look like? Is that playing small as well? You know, I know that there's some people will start out in a business and they'll feel that they're not enough to work one-on-one with people, that they put that off, and so they might just offer, you know, short online training programs or small group workshops and that kind of thing, because they feel like they're not actually enough to do that one-on-one sort of intense diving deep kind of work with people. So is it your business model that makes you be, that is, you know, you're playing small with? Another thing that I see, and I know that we have some network marketers in the group, and so this is going to be a little bit of a controversial one perhaps for them, But I know that I've seen it over and over again where a person, where a woman works for an MLM, works for a multi-level marketing company, and I know that it's not completely aligned with her, that she's playing it safe because the structure of the company and, you know, all the safety nets with the trainings and the processes and everything is in place and delivered in a little box for you. And so that makes it easy and that makes it safe to run a business because you've got this backstop, you've got this support, you've got this network of people and processes that keep it nice and safe for you. But I also know from what I've seen that sometimes it creates a situation where it's easy for that woman to play safe in that environment and stay in working for a company, stay working in that business, when what she really needs to be doing, what her soul says that she needs to be doing, is to get out and to actually run her own passion-driven soul business, because that's what her heart says that she needs to do. But it's safer to stay with a multi-level marketing company or, you know, a network marketing company. So and I've said it before that that's not bagging them out at all, because they really work for a lot of people, and I think they are a brilliant training ground for a lot of people to then move into their own business. Okay, so there's some ideas about how you might be playing it small in your business, and some thoughts around, you know, why that might be happening. Jonesy's in the house. Hi, Jonesy. We need to have a call. We need to have a catch up and hear what's going on. I'm actually about to finish, but if anyone has any questions or any comments, apart from Michelle because she's missed it, but if anyone has any thoughts about, you know, the things that I've been talking about why you might be playing it small, and how that sometimes if you just make a decision to change that belief about yourself and to shift that mindset, that conditioning just leaves and you start to level up and elevate yourself within your business. So while I'm waiting to see if anyone has anything to say about that, I want to talk to you about something that I think might help you. No, I know is going to help you. See, we all do it. We all, you know, undersell ourselves. I know that this will help you if you are that person who is stuck in a mindset of playing small. And that is my 10-day intensive. I actually think that I can turn that baby around in the space of 10 days. But I want to offer something really special tonight. Usually, this 10-day intensive is a 30-minute session at the start of the 10 days, and then a 10-day contact period where I get in touch with you every single day to work on the plan that we worked out at the start of the 10 days, the start of the process. And then we have a review at the end of the 10 days, another 30-minute session. And that costs $147 for the 10-day program. But tonight, and let's leave it open till the end of the long weekend, so we'll leave it open until Tuesday. If you are in the Powerhouse Collective and if you mention it to me when you book in, if you do book in for that 10-day $147 program, where we will absolutely up-level you and elevate you in your own business so you're not playing it small anymore, I'll throw in an extra bonus 30-minute session that we can do about a month down the track to check in and make sure that your mindset hasn't slipped back into that lack and scarcity space, into that divine feminine that doesn't allow you to elevate yourself and put yourself out there. And so that will mean that you get 3 30-minute sessions plus the 10-day intensive, all for $147. So I will put the link in the comments as well for that. It'll just be the standard link, and then I'll know that you'll have that extra session at the end. So has anyone got any comments or questions about playing it small? Michelle's jumped in. Hi Michelle. I saw a beautiful photo of you today with that red lacy bizzo on. That looked beautiful. No? Okay. Well, I think I'm going to leave it there. And, oh, I get waves from Michelle. Hi, Michelle. So let me know if you are keen to elevate your business and yourself and to stop playing it small and to actually start reaping the benefits of that mindset change. And I'd love to work with any of you and get that sorted. Okay? All right, enjoy the long weekend. If you're in Australia, we're having a long weekend this weekend. Mine is going to be all tied up doing website revamping and working on and getting all that stuff sorted. So that's my weekend, and I know I've spoken to a few of you and you're going to be working this weekend as well, because what else would you do, right? Okay, so I hope it's a good one, and be safe and take care. All right. Bye.